Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Skulk, continuing Winds of Change. Oh, wait, which way? I guess we're doing this one. Gotta remember, if I'm the latest one, it's gonna be further down the way. Got it. Double click. Yes. Oh, right, we were gonna look around. It's been a while since I last recorded this, so. The vines underneath the altar are huge. This tree must be thousands of years old. I wonder, then, if it penetrates the triumvirate. I wonder why that thing... I've noticed that the what's her name? Yeah, her face keeps popping up before everything happens. Anything useful?
I wish. This whole place is a mess. Honestly, I don't even know what to look for. Milas isn't stupid, though. He'd leave something.
How long has he been the Elder?
Honestly, only a few months. He was thrust into the position against his will. Something happened to his father, the previous Elder. But he's done such a good job, it's crazy. The leadership of Valinor did not skip a beat. He must have been training under his father.
What happened to his dad?
Nobody knows, actually. He went on a trip to Matsio and never came back. Search parties came up with nothing. It's like he vanished. Normally we'd hold an election, but things were crazy. That and Valinor is really big on family and tradition. Everyone just seemed to expect that Milas would take over.
You seem to think highly of him.
He's performed admirably for the position he's in. I doubt even a full election would find a better candidate. I was scared for a while, but he really filled the role. He didn't want to do it, but he kind of had to. It all happened so fast. I'm not sure of the specifics. But it was seamless. You almost couldn't notice.
If he doesn't want it to do it, he shouldn't have to.
I guess, but we can't all get what we want. It's not like I grew up wanting to be a scribe. He'll grow into the role, I'm sure of it. But we can worry about that after this is over. There's lots to do, and we can't even find him. I really hope that nothing bad has happened.
What if he's helping the rebellion?
I want to get to the bottom of it then. There's more going on than we can take at face value. He'd have his reasons, and I'd want to hear all of them.
Can anything excuse what's going on right now? You sure have a lot of explaining to do.
And it's something I'd happily listen to. That is, after we find a way to prevent this. I'm not passing judgment until I hear more. We can't condemn him based on a vision like this. That's like hating someone for what they do in a dream. Besides, we have no way of confirming this is his fault.
Aw, you're so sweet. You sure this is a vision?
I'm making a pretty educated guess. I'm trained to detect this kind of stuff. But it's so weird because this feels like reality. What's going to happen to me? I mean, technically, I'm not real, right? That's hard to take in. This feels real to me. But the way you're acting, yeah, it makes me certain. It's very rare that I become lucid in a vision. But with the evidence at hand, I'm very sure. Better not talk about it too loud, though. I don't want Ulrich to realize something is up. The rules state that only you and I can know.
What would be the harm in telling him?
Trust me, it's better for him not to know. He'd act recklessly. He'd be really confused. Well, more reckless than normal, I mean. These are gifts. Blessings, directly from the realm of spirits. We're not in any position to harm what they give us.
Why are spirits giving me visions?
Nobody knows, but we assume it's to protect us. If we know it's coming, we can change what happens. Seers have done it time and time again for thousands of years. A lot of people think they'll want something in exchange. That they're planting seeds to reap later down the line. Stupid superstition if you ask me. They just want to help.
You must be entirely grateful.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing more pure than the spirits. Without the visions, we'd have died out ages ago.
How long do they last?
As long as any other dream, I guess. Or maybe when the spirits decide you've seen enough. That's one of the things we don't really know. I guess something traumatic, like your death, would end it. Our minds aren't fit to comprehend what would happen next. We should make the most of the time we do have in here. This particular vision, no. But the concept of visions in general, yes. Without them, we'd have gone extinct long ago. They guide the world to a better future. And what's better, they ask for nothing in return. Only that we continue to harness this amazing power.
We've known for each other for our whole lives?
Yeah, it's just like I said. For better or worse. I was trained to be your scribe from a young age. We've been inseparable ever since. It's not exactly what I grew up wanting, but I'm not in a position to shun Valinor's tradition. Besides, I could think of people much worse to serve.
Well, that's... Wait, what? Worse? Am I bad, or you're just stating that as a fact that you're in a good position, you may not care for it, but you don't mind it because of your company, and there are worse jobs out there, which is always true. There's always something worse. Who can ever find the worst thing out there? We can think of some pretty dang dark things, but even no, there might be something even darker than that. What are scribe's duties?
Actually, you're seeing them firsthand. Imagine how confused you'd be without me. We're supposed to guide you through these visions. But when you wake up, you also need to report to me. Or, I guess you can report to Milas in these dire circumstances. Either way, I help you in here and you report out there. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't remember this. You'd wake up, shrug it off, and go about your day. Imagine what would happen to Valinor then.
I'm sure I can do this on my own. What? Then, seems like you're almost more important than me.
Of course not. We're two sides of the same coin. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to do anything without you. A scribe would do little good without visions to inhabit.
So, one person gets the visions, speaks them out loud in their sleep, then wakes up and cannot remember the vision. But the scribe must be around to carry on what you envisioned, so that your brushed aside vision isn't thrown out into the wind and not heard or taken down by anybody. So almost anybody can be a scribe, I guess, as long as they trust and believe in what your dreams are, not just gibberish. So yeah, both are very helpful. Are you the only scribe?
Yes and no. Actually, it's pretty technical. I'm your only scribe, but there's also a scribe in training. His name is Fortum, and he's prepared to take over if needed. It's a recent addition to the ranks, but it helps out a lot. Without a scribe, your abilities would be pretty useless. Having someone fully trained means no one misses a beat.
Can I turn up the sound, your voice? I just want to make you speak a little louder. Not booming, but still.
Imagine if you had this vision while I was gone. Just from that, I think you can gauge Fortum's importance. He's a nice guy too, but I'm sure he's long since fled. I'm sure you'll meet him when you get out of here. He tends to knock on your door first thing in the morning. So, let's focus on the matter at hand, alright?
No problem. How long have we known each other?
Since I was a little kid, actually. I was trained to be your scribe from the moment I could speak. It's a prestigious position, and I couldn't exactly say no. Some of the other children were jealous. Their parents too, which seemed really immature to me. Apparently, there's some competition for the role. But the elder chose me, and like it or not, here I am. I guess I'm just blessed that I actually do like this arrangement. In the end, the spirits really were looking down on me. Even if being here right now is terrifying, I'm still happy. Doing my duty to save Valinor, it's a dream come true. We don't know if the other kids would have fit this role.
Are you really forced to do this?
Well, I guess the answer is both yes and no. Before my parents passed on, they took care of the paperwork. Until I came of age, I had no choice but to obey.
Dang.
When I did come of age, however, I got to choose. Leave Valinor and pursue my own dreams, or be your scribe. I guess it's pretty obvious which one I chose, huh?
No, I don't. Please, elaborate.
So, while I was forced into the role, I chose to stick with it. Although, if this is any indication, we might have to leave Valinor. In that case, I get to be your scribe and travel the world.
Ah. Well, it turns out to be that way. Awesome. Awesome for both of us. But that is if things need to fall into be where they need to be or not to be. That is a question. Why would we leave Valinor? Yeah. Question or compliment?
Yeah, and same to you. Look at this vision. We're going to do great things. Let's get to the bottom of this and save our village together.
Nice. If there's a lot... Oh. I'm going to have to go through them. Wow. 11 minutes into the video and and it was just chatting with her. This video might be actually 30 or 40 minutes long because this chat might be going on the same thing. Anything useful?
No, there's not much here. But I guess if we spread out, we stand a better chance. Not that there's too much ground to cover.
What should I look for?
If I knew, we'd have found it already. Balessa seems to think Milas left something behind. But he isn't dumb. He wouldn't leave stuff out in the open.
No. If you want to keep things secret, you gotta hide it.
If it were up to me, we'd all be long gone. I can't fight your choice, though. It's your village. Let's do our best to hurry and get out of here.
Where did you come from?
Huh? You mean today, or in general?
In the attack ability? Where were you born, I mean? Why don't I get to know him?
Actually, I come from Alarinthia. Practically born with the blade in my hand. A figure of speech, of course. Don't picture that. Eventually, you grow up and need money of your own. I took the first ship to Mazeo and started selling my sword arm. I don't miss that place at all. It's disgustingly warm and humid.
What is it like in Alarinthia?
Completely different than what you think. We recognize power, not lineage, or claim to the throne. Or I guess they do, since I no longer live there. Instead of elections, there's a tournament every few years. Only the strongest tribe wins the right to rule Alarinthia. Of course, the rule is always contested shortly after. It's good not to make any close friends. You never know who you'll have to put to the blade. It's a culture of war, and only the strongest prevail.
Well, that sucks. Pretty awesome, to be honest. What a horrible place. I'm glad to live in Alarinthia.
No offense, but you have it pretty easy here. This is a paradise compared to what I had in Alarinthia. I mean, present circumstances excluded, of course.
Who would want... I mean, some people might. But I'm speaking from my perspective. Who would want to live in a place where you can't make friends or have kindness of words and all that, and yet just kill everyone? Or be the strongest in that form, kill everyone to make sure that you stay alive. It just sucks. Is there lots of competition as a sellsword?
The weak die out pretty fast, so not really. I'd say there's always a stable top 10 list. If someone isn't on it, they aren't worth your time.
Oh, wow, that's actually... Well, you know, I can actually see that. If you're on the top 10, you are worth. If you drop off the list, then you weren't the best, or something like that. Top 10 just means that there's not just number 1. I guess number 1 would be that if you took out number 2 or something like that, I don't know. Just whatever. If you're on the list, you're worthwhile. If you're not on the list, or you dropped off the list, then I guess you were pretty good to begin with because you're on the list in the first place. But point is, there's always someone stronger. There's always a bigger fish. Bigger fish! That Star Wars one with Anakin and pod racers. I just remember that one. Jar Jar Binks. Are you on the list?
Very funny. A joke question. I'll pass.
I was curious. I'm not demeaning you. I was just wondering. Okay. Does your family miss you?
No, I'm with my true family in Mazeo. We have a different concept of family in Alarinthia. You choose your family, and members come and go. When I left Alarinthia, I left that family behind. I made a new one in Mazeo, and they're no less important. We don't go by blood in Alarinthia, but by choice.
Ah, so you choose your family by saying, I like you. I'll be by your side. So you get to choose your own family? What happens to your birth family then?
They died during one of Alarinthia's tournaments. What stung worse is that they made it to the final round. Alarinthia holds tournaments for the throne, not elections. But that's not why I left the nation at all. I heard about this in a letter a few years back. Haven't been home since and don't plan on going either.
It's not that they died, it's that they died when they were almost there. How sad is that? You make it just to the finish line, working your very hardest, and you trip or die at the very, very end. The weather really that bad?
Alarinthia is quite far away. It easily takes a few days to reach by sea. The climate is so different, I almost can't explain it. Just don't dress in layers. Wear as little clothing as possible. You're liable to melt into a puddle.
Ah, summer all year round, or at least mostly. You must be exaggerating. I'll keep that in mind.
It's better to know beforehand than go and regret it. Who knows where the path ahead might take you. Just doing my duty to help keep you safe.
Thank you. Have any theories about all this?
Well, yeah, if the Triumvirate is truly responsible. Alestia is divided into 4 nations, right? Valinorth, Mazeo, Alarinthia, and Baltius. Each nation has a general that serves the Triumvirate. They rule in their stead and make sure everything runs smoothly. Except, you guessed it, the Elder or General of Valinorth. No one really knows why you remained untouched for so long, but the theory is that they don't want to anger the spirits. You know, because of all that spiritual energy residing here. So I'm thinking this is a power play. Take the 4th nation and control the whole world. They did the same thing to Mazeo about 20 years ago.
What happened to Mazeo?
The same thing that's happening here, but with less fire. They occupied the free town and placed a general in charge. They used terrible force, but the town improved because of it.
Oh. I'm not sure to be okay, happy, or disappointed in that.
I'll never agree with their methods, but Mazeo is peaceful. If they're burning villages down now, though, unforgivable. Perhaps the rebellion isn't in the wrong after all.
What are your thoughts on our culture?
It's not like anything I've seen before. So in tune with the spirits, you let them govern you. The rest of Alestia has history in their own hands. Not that it's a bad thing, of course. It's just different from the rest of the world. From what I've seen, the spirits have a good grasp on things.
The rest of the world doesn't care for spirits? So you'd live here if you had the chance?
Well, let's not jump to conclusions. I'm a sellsword. There's no business in peace for me. After I retire, though, it's always an option.
Huh.
If I live long enough to retire, that is. My business isn't exactly the safest in the world. What's going on here is pretty good proof of that.
That took almost another 10 minutes. Alright, let's take a little word thing. This looks like a comfortable place to sit down. Unfortunately, I don't think we have time for relax. I better get back to searching. That's what I was doing. Is it this thing? I walk over to the altar in a grand tree. There's a book sitting there, its pages spread open. At first glance, it looks completely unimportant. But I flip a few pages, and then I realize there's a small piece of paper hidden between the few pages. It was important enough to hide, so I quickly read the contents. So there's a book, doesn't look important, so you kind of just brush past going, there's too many pages, I don't want to look through all of it, because if you leave a message hidden within a book that doesn't look important, well, there you go. It's Actually, that's what they did in To the Moon. It's another playthrough I did. It's a really good game, really sweet game. But yeah, if you want to hide something, put it in something that no one really cares to look at. Especially if it's in a book and it's paper thin or something like that. They won't try to look through all the pages. Hide your money in all the pages, or a few pages here and there. And people, probably not people that actually tend to read through the book, might actually find a buck or two. Okay.
Milas's note. Recently, the Rebel Alliance has reached out to me. At first, I pushed them away, thinking them little more than a rogue group of bandits. But they said they knew the truth about my father. How could they know? In my situation, it was hard to resist temptation. I had to ask them exactly what they knew. The truth shocked me, and I have yet to tell anybody. I might take it to my grave. It's not the truth I expected, but it did shake me to my core. My father was in the middle of an important task. As his son, I felt that it was my duty to help finish it. I have no hatred for the Triumvirate. This is simply a matter of familial ties. Were anybody posed with such a situation, I doubt their actions would differ from mine. It doesn't seem too difficult either. They've given me a blade and tasked me with protecting it. In the next little while, they will send an envoy to pick it up. At that point, I am to send someone special with them. I must keep their name secret so nobody finds out. This envoy, however, will be coming any day. I can't wait to meet him. I've been told that he knew my father, and he would have all manner of stories to tell.
Should I show the note to Ulrich and Visa? Continue the story. This is it. This is what we needed. I mean, I guess if a whip. Whoops. I thought it meant keep reading and then I can show them. I thought. Oh, that's what it meant. I could have looked around a bit more. Probably found another few things just saying I could swing on these vines, but playtime's over. I can't look. I can't swing on the vines. Kind of poking at the point when I clicked on a log and it says I have no time to sit down and relax. I call over Ulrich and Velisa, showing them what I found. Ulrich seems tensed up, and even a little anxious.
So Milas was working with the rebellion. Apparently, he was sheltering Blade. Could that be why they attacked us?
Doing all this for a blade? Let's be realistic, Velisa.
Velisa? I said Velisa. Whoops.
It must have been very important. I'm assuming Milas took it with him. I don't see any blades lying around here. But about this envoy he mentioned, and this supposed special person. Ulrich, why did you lie to us?
It's true. Anybody would have figured it out by now. He seems to admit defeat and closes his eyes. Almost like he didn't want us to see as he spoke.
We didn't think you'd come if you knew. I tried to hide it, but I guess there's no point anymore. After seeing this attack, I need to request your help. This is far from the first village they'll raise. They're up to something much bigger. That's why you wanted to come here, right?
Yeah, you're right. There's little time to argue and nowhere else to go. It looks like you got what you needed, Ulrich. Let's get back to the town square. We'll exit the village through Main Street.
We nod and make our way out of the grand tree. I smile softly, as this knowledge would be invaluable. Invaluable? Does that mean it not is? Anyways, we had probable cause of the attack, and knew Milas' involvement, As soon as I woke up, I'd have everything I need to help Valinor. Time to go to sleep? Am I having another vision? The flames have spread, but it's not too bad. I need to make sure I didn't inhale too much smoke. As we take As we take slow, cautious steps, my mind is conflicted. There's one thing I can't seem to get off my mind. This blade, or whatever, was it worth all this? Destroying an entire culture over something so simple?
Sorry, I can't see all that well. You two will have to lead the way. I'm not as familiar with the surroundings.
We crouch and make our way through Valenorth. I have a rising urge to cough, but I try to hold it back. We wouldn't want to make it this far and get caught. The water tank is cracking and leaking its contents. A small stream trickles down through the village. This would be our best tool to hinder the flames.
This isn't right. Not at all. Where is everyone, Ulrich? There's not a single body.
Like I said, they probably fled to safety. We need to do that too, and fast. There's nothing left for us here in Valenorth.
It doesn't make any sense, though. Think about it for a second. In that alcove, we heard screams. The people of Valenorth were dying. Not only burning, but getting attacked. There should be bodies all over the place.
She was right, and it bothered me as well. The current scene didn't match what we heard. Was it possible for visions to warp this way?
What are you suggesting, Valessa? Do you think they stole the bodies?
If they did, there'd be blood. There's nothing, not even a trace. Doesn't make any sense, Ulrich. We have protocols for this kind of emergency. There should have been people in the Grand Tree, even if it was those too stubborn to shun tradition.
Why is it so important, Valessa? You seem to think everybody disappeared. We should go to Peregrino. There must be survivors. I doubt we'll find answers in Valenorth. We're on the right track, so let's not waste time. We can reach Peregrino in a couple of hours.
It made sense, and finally our goals aligned. Searching for information and getting to safety. Survivors could be our biggest source of information.
Besides, I'm sure that Miles will be there. He can tell you everything, Valessa. I'm sure he knows what's going on.
It's a good enough plan of action, and we nod to one another. But as we continue to move, everything changes. A laugh from atop the water tank, almost maniacal.
Such loyalty to the man who condemned you all. If you want to know where Miles is, I'd love to show you. I can even reunite you with the rest of the villagers.
We stop in our tracks and look up at the water tank. A silhouette of a man stands there, gripping a large blade. It's white and gold, with majesty embellished by the flames. It reminds me of the suits of armor we fought earlier. I have no doubt that there was some sort of relation. We must be looking at the man responsible for this. He jumps down from the water tank and lands at the roll. I take a few steps back, ensuring that Ulrich remains in the front. If his job was our protection, now is the time to shine through.
What a pitiful little village. It's no fun when they don't put up a fight. Did you know what they did in their final moments?
Yeah, you naughty man.
They called out to you, Seer. They wanted your help, and you let them down. I guess the stories I heard about you were wrong.
No, you're probably correct. Saying that I'm a savior and all, that I can help people. And you probably thought I was gonna be the mightiest of the mighty, but I just sleep, dream, and talk in my sleep. I said sleep twice, but you know what I mean.
So you already have the blade. Let us leave. We can resolve this peacefully.
No survivors. Don't you remember the rule? Like a garden, we have to pluck all the weeds.
Well, you're a nasty-looking weed yourself.
Is that all these people are to you? Sovi, they have a culture and history.
Yes, but it's not theirs that I'm interested in. In fact, I'm only here to claim the Seer's soul.
Oh, crap.
Everything else was just for fun, for sport.
Wow, you nasty little naughty man. This became personal, as they seemed to know each other. They both worked for opposing forces. I'm sure they've fought before. It sickens me that he likens killing the villagers to a sport.
You don't mean...
My orders had nothing to do with burning down this village. I wasn't supposed to kill anyone unless I had to, either. But you know, my apprentice isn't very fun to train with.
disgusting. But let's take this seer and run. I'll catch up with you at Peregrino.
Ulrich pulls out his blade and assumes a fighting stance. Sylvie does the same, and their eyes meet in deadlock. I look at Velisa, and we nod before starting to run. Unfortunately, we don't make it very far. We hear Ulrich scream and turn back to look. Sylvie smirks at us, his blade deep in Ulrich's abdomen.
Where do you think you're going, you two? It would be rude to leave before I'm done with you. Watch, and you'll see why you can never win.
With a grin on his face, he twists the blade inside Ulrich. Defying all possibility, the gear in the base starts to spin. This sounds familiar. This sounds oddly familiar to Major Minor. Soon after, everything is engulfed in a blinding white light.
Please, run.
We hear Ulrich's final words at the lights as light subsides. When everything is black to normal. He's completely gone. No blood, no body. Just Zoe standing there with pride.
What? What did you do?
I put his spirit to good use. Like I planned to do with your little friend.
Oh no. He points behind him, and we turn to look. The scattered pieces of armor on the ground start to move. They assemble, forming bodies that move in a slow, stiff fashion. But after a few moments, the movements become more natural. It isn't much longer until an army of automations block our path. There is nowhere to go. Sylvie blocked the other side. I was trying to find a place that would be a safe place, but I guess this one's as good as any. I want to stick with one save thing for now. I'm still at a point of no purity or corruption and no morale, so nothing other side. Books read, 1, got it. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by, and hope you guys are interested in continuing watching while I read, watching this series. And what I said about it reminding me of Major Minor, I will say no more if you haven't watched it. It's a really good story. And yeah, I guess, and thank you guys for stopping by. Until I see you guys again, have a great day, everyone.